Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikea. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. You are definitely a real one. So today's video is really fun. I am doing this for my baddies on a budget. I realize that fragrances and collecting different perfumes can be quite expensive. And I know everybody likes to smell good, but it can cost a pretty penny. So today I'm going to be sharing my favorite fragrances with you all that are less than $100. So if that's something that you're interested in, then keep on watching. So before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, of course, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Also, do not forget to click on that notification bell so you do not miss out on a single post. All right, y'all. So again, I'm doing this for my baddies on a budget. I realize that we all like to smell good, but not everybody wants to cough up a ton of money on fragrances. So I have about 10 or 11 different fragrances that I want to share with you all. And the first one that I want to share is from Philosophy. This is Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. And y'all, this fragrance is so beautiful. It's creamy, it's so sweet and cozy. I like to think of this as the Netflix and chill fragrance. It is just so beautiful. I believe this costs $35 or $45. I will definitely link it down below though, so that you can get the price and all of the information. But I am so obsessed with this fragrance. I like to wear this one at nighttime. This is like my go-to fragrance when I'm going to sleep, or even if I'm just chilling in the house and, like I said, Netflix and chilling. This is definitely the fragrance for me. So in Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere, there's vanilla, coconut, cashmere wood, there's also sandalwood and musk. And y'all, again, this is such a beautiful scent. It's just so creamy and warm and sweet, and I'm a huge gourmand lover, so this one is definitely up my alley. But yeah, if you like fragrances that are warm and sweet and cozy, I definitely recommend Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere from Philosophy. All right, y'all, so this one is a fairly new fragrance that has been introduced in my collection. This is called Universal Oud, and this is from Zara Perfumes. I have just been introduced to the Zara fragrances, and I am in love with the fragrances that I've tried from Zara. This one happens to be one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful, woody, spicy oud fragrance. And here there's black pepper, patchouli, and of course there's oud. I think that this is a great introduction to oud, especially if you don't want to pay a pretty penny, because I found that oud fragrances are pretty expensive. Oud is one of the more expensive fragrance notes. So the actual perfumes itself that contain oud tend to be a little pricey, but this one is about $35. And y'all, I am so in love with this. So if you like fragrances that are very woody, a tad bit spicy, I definitely recommend Universal Oud from Zara. The projection and the performance on this fragrance is also really great. The longevity is great as well. So this lasts about 6+ hours on my skin. And honestly, I think that this is a great oud fragrance, especially if you're just now getting into oud or you're a little apprehensive about it. This one is pretty affordable, so it's a great tester if you want to try out oud. Again, this is Universal Oud from Zara. All right, y'all, so this next fragrance is also from Zara. This is called Ebony Wood. This is really popular. I've seen it all over Instagram as of recently, and I first heard about this fragrance from Kyra Monique here on YouTube, but this is such a beautiful fragrance. It's perfect for every day. It has this citrus, woody, spiciness to it that I really love. So in here, there's pink pepper, cloves, and ebony. And to me, in the opening, you get some citrus. It doesn't mention it in the notes, but in the opening for me, you definitely get some citrus. And then when it dries down, it becomes this really spicy, woody fragrance. I am so in love with this. This is actually my favorite fragrance that I've purchased from Zara thus far. I believe this one was also $35 for the full bottle, but then they also have a 1 fluid ounce, which is about $19. Y'all, this fragrance is so good. To me, this is pretty unique. I don't have anything in my collection that smells like this, and I really do love this. I'm gonna have to go get a backup because every time I spray this, I just drench myself in it. It is just so beautiful. Again, this is perfect for every day, especially during the cooler months. I am just in love with this fragrance. I have recommended this to so many people, and again, it's been flying all over Instagram and Twitter. So if you have been interested in this fragrance, I definitely suggest checking it out because to me, it is worth the hype. All right, y'all. So this next fragrance that I want to share with you all is actually the most affordable fragrance I have in my collection. This fragrance actually costs $14. Okay. I was shocked at the price tag and I just was like, what? $14? I have to have it. So this is Choco Musk from our Rehab. This is such a beautiful chocolatey vanilla musky fragrance. There's milk chocolate in here, vanilla, musk, a little bit of cinnamon. There's also a few spicy notes in here. This fragrance is perfect for the nighttime. I like to spray this one on when I'm going to sleep. It's such a beautiful scent. If you like musky, chocolatey, vanilla, like gourmand fragrances, I definitely recommend this. And I was very, very surprised because this performs very well. The longevity in this is pretty great. Now, I typically sleep with this, but I will say that whenever I wake up, I still smell this all over my clothes, all over my skin, all over my bedding. It is just such a beautiful fragrance. I am just, I'm in love with this. I just can't even like say enough about this. This is a gourmand fragrance and it's not overly sweet. It's not overly musky as well. It's like a lighter, musky fragrance, but it is so beautiful. So yeah, for $14, this is like a huge steal for me. I feel like this is a really great fragrance, even if you want to gift this to somebody, or maybe you have a daughter or a son or someone that's younger that wants to get introduced to fragrances. I definitely feel like this is a great fragrance to purchase for someone else. It's really affordable and it performs really, really well. So again, this is Choco Musk from our Rehab. All right, y'all. So this next fragrance is one of my personal favorites. I know all of them are my favorite, but among the fragrances that are less than $100, this one probably tops most of them. This is Laventure by Al Haramain. This is such a beautiful, fruity, woody fragrance. And if you've been in like the fragrance community, you've probably seen this fragrance around. A lot of people say that this one is a dupe for Creed's Aventus for Her. And if I'm being quite honest, I definitely do think that this is a great dupe. So Creed's Aventus for Her is about $400. This one is about $35. So yeah, it's a huge price difference. And honestly, to me, I can't smell a huge difference between the two fragrances. I really do love the performance of this. This is beast mode, okay? Beast mode. So if you haven't smelled this fragrance before, it's fruity. It has a little bit of pineapple, blackcurrant. There's also sandalwood in here, bergamot, and a few floral notes. This is a fragrance that reminds me of a boss woman, a woman who has her stuff together, even one that's like rich, that gives off rich energy. That's definitely what this fragrance reminds me of, like old money. When I smell this, that's what it reminds me of. But that's also what Creed's Aventus for Her reminds me of as well. This is such a beautiful fragrance, and I definitely recommend this one, especially if you don't want to cough up the money for Aventus for Her just yet, and you still want to have a fragrance kind of along that same line. Definitely check out Laventure by Al Haramain. All right, so this next fragrance is also a beautiful fragrance that is, to me, a dupe for a more high-end fragrance. This is Shagaf Oud by Swiss Arabian, and to me, this is a great dupe for Lancome's Oud Bouquet. This is such a beautiful, sweet, woody gourmand fragrance. So in here, there's oud, there's also rose, vanilla, and praline. And I'm obsessed with this fragrance. It's beast mode, okay? When I say beast mode, beast mode, okay? It lasts for days and days and days. I spray this and like I honestly cannot get the scent off of anything that I spray it on, but that's okay because it's really, really beautiful. If you like gourmand fragrances that also have oud in them, I definitely recommend Shagaf Oud from Swiss Arabian. Again, to me, this is a pretty close dupe to Lancome's Oud Bouquet. I believe I got this one for about $65. Lancome's Oud Bouquet ranges about to $200 or $300, and to me it performs just as well as that fragrance. This one to me is a little bit sweeter than Oud Bouquet, and it's also a little bit more woody. Oud Bouquet to me it does have more vanilla, but I can smell the rose a lot in that fragrance. Whereas this one, it's just really sweet and warm. It's perfect for this time of year. I have been waiting for it to get cool so I can pull out Shagaf Oud. I just have been drenching myself in it lately because it is such a beautiful scent. Y'all, this is like a compliment getter as well. It is a head turner. It's very, very sexy. I think that this is the perfect date night fragrance. If you want to get compliments, you want to turn heads, you want everybody to know that you walked in the room, definitely check out Shagaf Oud from Swiss Arabian. Ugh, I'm in love. It just smells so, so good. All right, y'all. So this next fragrance is very sentimental to me. This is actually one of the first fragrances that I ever had or I ever owned. This kind of started off my whole entire perfume collection. So this is very, very sentimental to me. My mom purchased this for me for Christmas one year when I was in college, and I have not been able to get enough of it. I am still obsessed with this fragrance to this day. So this is Rihanna's Rebel Fleur, and y'all, I'm so in love. I seriously cannot get enough of this. Whenever I smell it though, it definitely reminds me of college. It reminds me of living in Texas. And so it just has so many great memories for me. But this is such a beautiful, fruity, warm, spicy fragrance. In here there's peach. There's also a few different wild berries. There's jasmine in here. There's vanilla and patchouli, and I am just so obsessed with this fragrance. It's very, very sexy, very warm, definitely appropriate for the fall and the winter months. I typically don't pull this out in the spring and summer because to me it's very warm and very spicy, but for the fall and the winter, I definitely grab this quite often. And I'm just in love with this fragrance. So I know a ton of people were telling me that they weren't able to get their hands on this, but I did see that it was available on Fragrance Net. So I will link that down below for you all. I believe this is about $25 to $30, which is still really good for this fragrance because this has come out, I don't remember when this came out. I think it came out in like 2010 or 11. So I still think that this is such a beautiful fragrance. Even after all this time, I'm still in love with it. I still want to drench myself in it, and I definitely still get compliments on this one. This is definitely for a woman who likes to enjoy her nightlife. Again, I also say that this is great for date night. This is just a vibe, and I am obsessed. So this one is Rihanna's Rebel Fleur, and I definitely recommend this one as a date night fragrance for the fall and the winter. So this next fragrance is such a beautiful fragrance. I am in love with this. And I know I've been saying that I've been in love with everything, but I really am in love with this one. So this is from Seven Virtues, and it is called Vanilla Woods. It's this beautiful, fruity vanilla fragrance. In here, in the opening, you definitely get this blast of pear. And then in the mid, you get a little bit of rose. And when it dries down, there's vanilla, there's caramel. And I love this fragrance so much. If you like vanilla fragrances, then I would definitely recommend this one. You can get this at Sephora, and I believe this was about $85. I am just obsessed with this fragrance though. It's perfect for any time of year. This is also a great daytime fragrance, and at nighttime I would wear this even on a date for something casual. But if you like fruity fragrances that also have vanilla in them, that have a little bit of depth to them, I definitely recommend Vanilla Woods. It's just such a beautiful scent, and I get a ton of compliments on this one as well. I typically wear this during the daytime though, when I'm running errands or if I'm just out and about. I haven't worn it at night, I don't believe, but I do feel like it would still work really well at nighttime. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this fragrance right here from Seven Virtues, and this is called Vanilla Woods. Alrighty, so these next two fragrances, I feel like I have to mention them together because one is the intense version, one is the original. But this is Cloud from Ariana Grande, and I feel like I could not have done this list and not mention Cloud. This is like a cult favorite. I personally am obsessed with Cloud. It's such a beautiful fragrance and it's pretty affordable. For the 3.4 ounce, I believe this is $65, but they do have other sizes. This is a fragrance that can be found so many different places. You can find it in drugstores and pharmacies. I've seen this at Walgreens. They even sell this at Ulta. So this is a fragrance that you'll be able to get in a lot of different places. But I am so obsessed with this. Now, if I had to choose, I would say get the intense version if you don't already own Cloud, because this one kind of lasts a little bit longer to me and it performs a little bit better than the original. But I'm a huge fan of both of these. This is just such a beautiful, warm, sweet, creamy fragrance. There's caramel in here. There's a little bit of vanilla. This one personally has ambroxan and cashmere, but I'm so in love with this fragrance, y'all. It is my favorite Ariana Grande fragrance. I love it so much. And honestly, you can't go wrong with any of the Ariana Grande fragrances. They all are pretty affordable, but this one is my personal favorite. I absolutely love Cloud. And again, I don't think that you can go wrong with either of these fragrances. They're both really beautiful. But if I had to choose, I would choose the intense version. And it's just such a great scent. It's great for every day. It's great for nighttime. And it is definitely a compliment getter. A lot of people say that this is comparable to Baccarat Rouge 540. I personally don't think that they compare, but this is still a really beautiful fragrance, so I definitely had to add it to my list. Again, this is Cloud from Ariana Grande. All right, y'all, so this next fragrance is Casablanca from Swiss Arabian, and it is so good. So good. If you like fruity vanilla fragrances, kind of along the same vibes as Vanilla Woods from Seven Virtues, then I definitely think that you would like this one as well. I believe this one was around $65 or $50. Again, I'll link it down below just to be sure, but this kind of reminds me of apple juice. And I know somebody else mentioned in one of the reviews that I read that this reminds them of apple juice as well. That's what this kind of reminds me of. In the opening, you get this blast of apple and pear, and then when it dries down, there's this beautiful warm vanilla and caramel. This also has patchouli in it, and there's a few other floral notes in here, but I really enjoy this fragrance a lot. It's not super unique. I would definitely say that it's not super unique, but it is a really beautiful fragrance. Again, if you like fragrances along the lines of Seven Virtues, Vanilla Woods, that fruity vanilla kind of fragrance, I would recommend this one as well. This has great longevity. It lasts about 6 to 8 hours on me, so the longevity for me is pretty well, and I just like it. It's a comforting fragrance, and I just like to wear this one when I'm just chilling and relaxing. It's such a beautiful, warm, fruity vanilla fragrance. So if you like gourmands, I definitely recommend Casablanca from Swiss Arabian. Alrighty, y'all, so the last and final fragrance that I want to share with you is from Rassasi, and this is Jasmine Wisp. This is a very popular fragrance. I've seen this one also on social media, specifically Instagram. I've seen it flying all across Instagram, but this is a really beautiful fragrance. It's very fruity, very floral, but you also have a little bit of sweetness in here as well with a little bit of vanilla. So in Jasmine Wisp, there's peach, there's apple, there's also a little bit of pear in the opening. There is jasmine, of course, and then when it dries down, there's caramel, musk, amber, and vanilla. This is such a beautiful, warm, fruity fragrance. So for me, I'm not a huge fan of fruity fragrances unless it's mixed in with a vanilla or it has some kind of warmth in the background. This one is right up my alley. It is like the perfect fruity fragrance. Now, I do feel like this is a little misleading because the name is Jasmine Wisp, And I really don't smell a ton of jasmine. I get it kind of when it dries down. To me, this is more of a fruity fragrance and like a little bit of sweetness with the vanilla. I don't get a ton of the jasmine though. I wish the jasmine would stand out a little bit more because I'm obsessed with jasmine. It's my favorite white floral note. And again, the name is Jasmine Wisp. So I was thinking that this was going to be like a heavy white floral fragrance. The jasmine is very subtle in here, so I just want to warn you. But if you like fruity fragrances that are still pretty warm, I definitely recommend this one. It is such a beautiful fragrance. I can drench myself in this one. I literally want to bathe in it because it smells so good. This is like the perfect fruity fragrance for fall because it's not like overly fruity, like immature kind of fruity. It's very much mature, very much still got that warmth and depth to it, and I really do enjoy this a lot. I believe this is about $60 and you can get this on Amazon. You can also get this on FragranceNet as well, but this is such a beautiful fragrance and I'll definitely again link this for you all. But again, this is Jasmine Wisp from Rasasi. All right, y'all, so that was my list of favorite fragrances that are under $100. Again, I wanted to do this for my baddies on a budget. I understand that fragrances are a pretty penny, especially if you're trying to build a collection. And who doesn't like to smell good and feel good? I totally get it. So again, these are my favorite fragrances under $100. Comment down below though and let me know what some of your favorite fragrances are that are affordable. A, because I'm nosy, and B, because I'm also on the hunt to try out new fragrances as well. But that's everything, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, of course. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. You can also check me out on social media. My Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok handle will be linked down below in the description box. I will also be sure to link all of the fragrances mentioned in this video down in the description box as well. I hope y'all have a great one. Stay safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.